hearing, which is the comprehensive plan amendments that was continued from our June 22nd, 2015 meeting.
Mayor, council members. Well, in terms of the public hearing, I am recommending that we continue the public hearing or postpone it until either the November 9th or November 23rd regular council meeting. And the purpose for that is that we received some more information from the Puget Sound Regional Council and also from the Department of Commerce, or Commerce for short, regarding our comprehensive plan. The major comments have come from the Department of Commerce, and the underlying issue that we're dealing with is that Commerce has indicated that our comprehensive plan is non-compliant with state law. And as a matter of fact, underneath state law, it should have been updated by June 30th of this year, but it hasn't. And there's a lot of sections of the comprehensive plan that still need to be updated. The key ones being land use, housing, capital facilities, and utilities. Of course, we need to still do some updates to the transportation section based upon comments from the Puget Sound Regional Council. The Commerce recommended that one thing we could do is postpone the adoption of the two elements that have been reviewed by Planning Commission and Council, being the fact that underneath state law, the city is only allowed to do one comprehensive plan change cycle per year. And when I mean by cycle, that's any and all proposed changes to the comprehensive plan, whether map changes or text changes. The purpose for this is that it provides us a little bit more flexibility so that if there's other elements of the comprehensive plan that we can update this year to bring it in more compliance, we'll still have that window of opportunity to do it. If the council adopts the two elements earlier, then that window of opportunity goes away and we have to wait through the 2016 comprehensive plan review cycle. So I want to hold that open while we take a look at what needs to be done on the other elements. And I have been almost done with the matrix of what the changes are needed in those elements, and hopefully I'll have a timeline put together fairly soon on how to get it done, and also looking at staff resources or the need for outside resources to help with getting the comprehensive plan updated. So with that, I'm recommending that the comp plan update and the adoption of the two elements that we have be postponed to either the 9th or 23rd.
Questions from council? Councilmember Kay.
I thought one of the reasons we streamlined this to the two areas and tabled some of the other stuff was to try to bring us in compliance. And I thought there was an issue with being non-compliant, and by delaying it to November, most likely not adopting it until early December. I mean, 2016 is only a month or two away from that. So I guess I question the need for adding these other issues and not acting on the two that we've worked on already.
Well, like I mentioned, it provides us some flexibility, and I would hate kind of to let that go away. It may be that the additional amount of time won't make much of a difference anyhow, but we need to take a look how the other elements fit in and what the resources are needed, and you might say the monies are needed for updating those elements. Now, again, the issue of noncompliance came up after the two elements that we've already looked at were sent to the Department of Commerce and were sent to the other agencies. And it wasn't until those agencies reviewed them, Puget Sound Regional Council or PSRC and Commerce reviewed them, that it came up that those other additional elements, in their opinion, were out of compliance with the state law, with state law. So that's why it's come up at this late point. In all truthfulness, the update to the comprehensive plan, the total comprehensive plan, should have started in like 2012,
right,
really 2013, to take it through that year, that process to 2013 into 2014 and for adoption prior to the June 30th date. But that didn't happen, and we can't worry about the past. We're just looking at how to bring it forward and get it taken care of.
Didn't we receive grant money to kind affected in any way?
Well, what happened is that we received grant money at the beginning of 2014, but there was no staff to work on it. And actually, when I came on, we were really in a spot where we were looking to be losing what grant money that we were getting. And what I did is I had to amend the contract so we had less deliverables to the state so that we can get something done for this year at least. And to get monies for bringing a consultant to do some updates to our wetlands inventory. That was a key issue that the state was looking at in terms of the environmental elements, that our wetlands inventory was out of date. So we used funds from the state for that, and that grant cycle bringing the wetland geologist to do the update of our wetlands inventory. So that was a big cost as part of the grant. So, you know, what the path is, what it is, so we're just trying to move forward and get this taken care of and get into compliance. And quite frankly, it'll be, for other elements of the plan, it'll be the 2016 cycle that we'll be looking at to get the plan into compliance.
Further questions from council?
Do you recall that when we first were discussing this, PSRC had some smaller comments on the transportation element, that this provides time to update those as well?
Well, there were
on critical stuff from Congress.
Okay, for the PSRC, they had some minor comments, but they also had what we could call a really big major comment in the fact that in terms of our transportation plan, we had an outdated plan. They were looking at a 20-year transportation plan, and we don't have one. And that's going to be a major cost factor, and that's something that is required to have as part of the Growth Management Act regulations underneath the RCW. So that's potentially a big cost factor to get a 20-year transportation plan together. And the thing with the transportation plan, and this was pointed out by Commerce, is that, and also by PSRC, that transportation plan has to be based upon what your 30-year land use pattern, housing pattern is going to be within the city. And with the fact that our land use plan is out of date, and to bring that plan into compliance, we have to know what's out there, what they call the buildable lands survey data matrix that we have to have, and that is completely out of date. It has to be brought back into date. We also have to know what our population is. The current comp plan uses 2000 census information, so you can see it's a little outdated in that respect. So we need to get that information pulled together so we can take a look at our land use patterns to see whether there are changes in our land use patterns we need to do to meet the requirements of PSRC, the state, and also definitely with PSRC, just a little background, in terms of population underneath Growth Management Act within the Puget Sound regional area, each city has to take a certain amount of population of that base that's coming in. And that is determined by Office of Financial Management. And the last time it came in, over the 30-year period, that the city had to bring in 925 people in population. And then you had to show on your land use patterns and showing that you could support that population, bring it in. That hasn't been updated, and we're looking at getting information from OFM to see what we need and determine whether that population increase is supported by our existing zoning and land use and what's already built out, what's partially built out, what's underused, and what's vacant. So there's a lot of factors in the mix on how we deal with that.
Okay, any other questions from council? So was there anyone in the audience that came to speak on this tonight regarding the comp plan amendment that we continued the meeting? Just wanted to make sure that somebody didn't come or want to make comment and that we didn't acknowledge that. So with that, is this council, do we want to postpone or just close up this public hearing and restart the process in November?
Move to postpone to our first meeting in November.
Perfect.
Yeah, what we'll do at the first meeting in November, of course, we'll re-advertise the public hearing.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Councilor Whitaker?
A lot of work, that's what November 3rd.
Well, we'll have certainly a better idea where we're at by that time,
Yeah.
so.
Further comments from council? Seeing none, all those in favor of postponing this public hearing until the first meeting in November, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So, a point of personal privilege, I kind of messed up before we moved off of the solid waste contact. We received some letters, and I needed Amy to read those into the record. So, I'm going to go back and reopen that public hearing for the simple reason just to read in those letters that we received so that they are on record and that we did not forget about them. So, my bad. Before we move on, I'd like to have those read into the record. Thank you.